How many kids are still awake? A couple? Good. All right. If you guys could look at these really fast. Do you have one by your seat, kids? Yeah? Is there anybody that plays football that likes to play quarterback? See the form of the guy that's holding the ball right there? It's not how you do it. It looks like a statue. I want to first say thank you to Bobby Glass and the Harvard Varsity Club for putting all this together and everything you guys do. This is amazing. Thank you to everybody that came out. Aaron McDermott, thank you very much. I was going to start with a couple stories, but Clifton stole my speech about what I was going to say about my wife. I do want to say thank you to the most important people in my life. I brought my 5 favorite kids of the 7. And for those of you that don't know, my wife Liza played soccer here. She, as most of you probably do know, because either Coach Murphy or her would tell you, she's the only All-American in the family. I donated enough money to be an All-American. She was actually an All-American. But the story with Liza and I was very similar actually to Clifton's in terms of looking at the Facebook, seeing a beautiful girl. It just took me 2 additional years to corner her. But I appreciate your patience in overlooking the awkwardness for those 2.5 years. And giving me a chance. I think back to my playing days, and it's a little bit harder for me, and I say that humbly, that I played a lot of football games. If you start to add them up, there were 17 years times 4 with the preseason games. It was 17 times 16 with the regular season games, and then it was 17 times 0 with the playoff games for me. It turned into a lot of games, and so there's not a lot of specific plays that I remember from college, but there are a lot of specific emotions. But even before that started, I go back to after my senior season. I amazingly, somehow, remarkably have a chance to get drafted, and I'm not even sure how. And I have a workout at Harvard Stadium with Josh McDaniels. And at the time, Josh McDaniels was the offensive coordinator for the Patriots. I was really excited about it. They had 3 7th-round picks. For some reason, Ryan Tyler was the wide receiver I chose that day. Ryan was a good player, but Carl, I wish he could have come back maybe, or Brian Edwards was probably busy. Corey Mazza, I don't know what you were doing. But Ryan Tyler was my guy. We had a great workout, had a great talk with Josh McDaniels, and there was a real chance I was going to go in the 7th round of the Patriots. And I sat there, and it was 3 days of the draft at that point, so the first pick of the Patriots in the 7th round, they selected the linebacker. Second pick, they selected a DB, and then with the 3rd pick, they pick a quarterback. Quarterback scrolling across the screen, Matt Castle, who at that point nobody had ever heard of him. He was the backup for USC. And so I was absolutely shattered, thinking, this actually isn't going to happen. I get a phone call, ironically, from Jason Garrett, who was a great quarterback at Princeton, and at the time a coach for the Miami Dolphins. And so I'm on the phone with Jason, and he's just kind of talking me through, look, it's okay, we'd love to have you here as an undrafted free agent. And then I get a different area code on my phone, so I click over, and it ends up being the Rams, and I get drafted. And it's a fun story for me, not only because that was my moment in getting drafted, but because I hung up and never talked to again the greatest quarterback in Princeton history. He is a good guy. We are buddies now. But I'm saying that to say that led into my rookie year. I didn't think I belonged. I got on the team. I was this 3rd-string quarterback. I was never going to play. But then all of a sudden, a couple injuries happened. This seemed to be a theme throughout my career wherever I went. If injuries would happen, I'd find myself in the lineup. But this particular one, it's a really special memory for me, and it's not just because of what happened in that game, which it sort of, for me, validified in my mind, like I belong. I came in, for those of you that don't remember, I'll remind you, we were down by 21 points. I came in, threw for over 300 yards, 3 touchdowns. We ended up coming back and winning the game in overtime. And I say that because it's my favorite memory, not because of what happened on the field, but it has become a moment with my teammates from Harvard, kind of one of those, where were you when? Coach Murphy always tells the story, being in the airport, or Todd LaFontaine in Las Vegas. But I think everybody at that point, we were all, and I was with you guys, like, holy shit, is this really happening? Like, this is the NFL we're talking about. And I took so much pride throughout my career in trying to do it the right way, playing with grit and determination and toughness and representing Harvard football the right way. Because it was important to me. I always knew that I had been given an opportunity that a lot of us hadn't had, and we all loved the game. And so for me, to be able to do that and show that every Sunday was really important, and a lot of that was because of you guys. So I thank all my teammates for that one. The other thing I'll touch on, and one of my favorite things, just how deep this brotherhood runs. Seeing guys today like Ryan Fitzpatrick, who, he was a senior, I was a freshman. We weren't particularly close, but you showed me a lot about leadership, and I really appreciate that. And Dante Bellistracci, probably not a coincidence you guys are sitting next to each other, because you're both great leaders, and I appreciate both of you very much. So this brotherhood that we've all created, one of my favorite things every year when the schedule came out was just to look at my road schedule and where I was traveling, because I look around this room right now and it's so amazing the amount of dinners we've been able to have together, and you being able to come in your homes, meet your families, all that. I wrote down a couple of my favorite places to go. Pittsburgh was a great one because I always got to catch up with Harv and Ricky. And a quick funny story about Ricky. So Ricky Williamson was a tailback and then converted DB. Yeah, converted DB, 100-yard interception return senior year. He's now a neurosurgeon, and if you knew him, it'd be really funny. But I'm getting ready to play the Pittsburgh Steelers on Monday Night Football, and Rick and I go to dinner the night before, and I think at that point he was still in residency, so I paid the bill like I normally do with him. And he said, "Oh, by the way, I'm the unaffiliated neuro consultant for the game tomorrow." I was like, "What?" So for every game, they have a spotter, and the spotter looks down, and if you get dazed or confused, they make the decision because they don't have any skin in the game on either team to pull you out of the game. So I was like, "Rick, you can't tell anybody that we're like best friends from college, and you're the guy that's making these decisions, but if you pull me out of the game, I'll kill you." Indianapolis was always a good one. Sean and Carrie, used to live there, and then it was also great, Rodney Burns. It would always take me to Ruth Chris and always make sure, and anybody that's been to Indy probably knows he has a private wine locker at Ruth Chris with lots of expensive stuff in it. Charlotte, even recently, Bechtel and Clem and Max, Dallas, KC, Joe, Seattle, Todd, Neil, San Fran, throwing a few soda pops back with Brian Edwards, Will Johnson, and even this last year going to Atlanta, our teammate Neneo Asamoah is now Arthur Blank's right-hand man, so it's a good experience for anybody that wants to go there. But the two other ones, Sammy Taylor, who was a receiver for us, is a doctor for the Giants, and Jamil Soriano is a corporate exec with the Niners. And so it's just this web of people that you come in contact with, and just the amazing bond that we form. That was always my favorite part of the schedule release, was who do I get to see this year. I'm sorry I didn't mention you, because last time I saw Kelly in Philly, you didn't come out and see us. I'll say, I'll just end by this. Like I got made fun of a lot early in my NFL career for the Harvard thing, and that, as I went on, kind of went away. And now with my Thursday night crew with Amazon, I get made fun of a lot, not for the Harvard thing, but because every city I go to, it's like, oh, Fitz has got best friends in this city. Fitz has got best friends in this city. But it's true, and they don't know that there's a connection to that. And the connection to that is everybody in this room. I mean, this is such a special bond and was such an important part of my life. I'll be forever indebted to this university, forever indebted to Coach Murphy, to all of you guys, to the experience that I was given, obviously the life that I now have with my family. I'd just like to finish by saying that this has just enriched my life more than I can ever express. And I am so truly humbled and honored to be going into the Hall of Fame. So thank you guys very much.